I surrender. Good morning, Hockey Nation fans and Detroit Red Wings fans. It is rough sledding right now in Detroit. The roller coaster season continues to slide a little bit. On Wednesday night, back-to-back games didn't work out for the Red Wings. We knew they threw Ville Husso on the Tuesday night game, and they lost 1-0 with a great effort there. And the question was, would they go to Nedeljkovic or the recently called up Magnus Helleberg? And they went to Helleberg. And Helleberg, wearing number 45, Jonathan Bernier's old number, had similar results to last year and Nedeljkovic, and just it was okay. But the biggest problem was the captain, Dylan Larkin, was not in the lineup. The Minnesota North Stars, a.k.a. the Minnesota Wild, were wearing their retro jerseys. So if you saw these abominations, and I look and go, oh, that's cool. And then I was really like, oh, my God, these are terrible. It's weird that they would be wearing the Minnesota North Stars. I get they are in Minnesota, and this is the team that replaced that team. But the actual Minnesota North Stars are in San Jose. They moved the team to San Jose. That's the San Jose Sharks were formerly the Minnesota North Stars, weren't they? and the Dallas Stars, actually. So didn't they take the Minnesota North Stars, split the team? The owner went to San Jose and started the Sharks, and then Minnesota moved to Dallas. But I guess they get the jerseys. Who wears the Minnesota jersey? San Jose? No, that's not going to happen. Dallas kind of was already wearing them. So anyways, the outcome here was rough. Good morning, Eater Tap. Thank you so much for joining. It has been a rough time in Detroit land. So on Wednesday night, this was ugly. And luckily, the Red Wings had a great beginning of the year, but they are settling into where we thought they would, but not for anything other than injury after injury. And tonight, or that night, and probably again tonight or tomorrow, I guess, is the next game. No Dylan Larkin. Dylan Larkin with an upper body injury. He finished playing the game where he had, I didn't see it, but he finished playing the second period of that game, and then they did an x-ray, and they had to send him to a specialist. So they're saying it's upper body. This is from the Tuesday night game. But he might be out a little while, and this is not good news. Now, part of that is I would be happy to join you. If the coach wants me on, I am happy to join you. Let him know I am available, and I will schedule it in my 6 p.m., your 9 p.m. I'm currently on the West Coast. So happy to be there. I will do that. For Hockey Nation Live fans, I have not seen you. No Dylan Larkin. Elmer Soderblom gets called up. So Elmer Soderblom returns from injury, goes down to the minors, gets called back up. Excuse me. This would be the only good news story for the Detroit Red Wings in this game. They only had 17 shots on net. Helleberg only faced 22. But again, we get back to Detroit losing in the faceoff circle. Not surprising given their number one centerman is out, and that Andrew Kopp's faceoff percentage is below 500, which I thought that's why we got him. Missing something? Over 3 on the power play. Again, power play is bad. 1 for 4 for the Wild. It is what it is. 27 to 25 hits. So they're out hitting them, out penaltying them. They got actually fewer block shots on this night. But in the end, this is all Minnesota. Frederick Gaudreau getting his 6th of the year from Sam Steele, who seems to be earning a job. He was playing on the top line for a little while. They have a hole of their own on the top line. Ryan Hartman was originally penciled in here, and that's a weird one, but he had a great year last year. So now they're just kind of rotating who's up there. Sam Steele getting his 3rd assist. Jared Spurgeon, really, really underrated small defenseman who can really skate, really strong defensively, and their captain gets his 10th assist. Matt Dumba having a very good year. Matt Dumba wearing an A, by the way. I didn't realize that. Greenway only his 2nd assist. I really thought this guy 2 years ago had a breakout, but I think that the lockout is really, it hit a lot of stuff. Good morning, RJ Calabro. Thank you so much. I'm excited because, like you say, it is 9 days until Christmas. I don't know what I get out of that, but I'm happy to support Christmas for everyone and everything. So they made it 2-0 in the second. And then Elmer Soderblom kind of scored a shock little goal 5-on-5 from Adam Ernie. No other line was really clicking, but they were playing more, cautiously and defensively without Larkin in the lineup. And then Matt Zuccarello rifled one from Kaprizov. That was a pretty good shot. The Matt Dumba goal was good too. He pinched in, and he was kind of one-on-one with the D, but there was a lot of gap there, and he just pulled the puck in to his foot and then shot it. So the angle was really, it was that was like a forwards goal, man. That was like a high skill forward goal. That was pretty good. You see guys like Malkin and let's say Austin Matthews special pulling it in and rifling, right? Or going back in the day, Mats Sundin. So that was kind of out of the way at that point. We know a lot of the times Red Wings have done a good job of shutting down the third period. There weren't a lot of shots in this game. So Gaudreau getting his second, that was kind of the end of it. I don't know. It is what it is. There are like 8 or 9 bodies out for the Detroit Red Wings. No Larkin, no Bertuzzi. We know Fabry's out all year. Zadina's out. Did you see the hit, by the way? Before we go through the injuries, there could have been another bad injury, and I'm waiting to see if this turned out bad. Philip Roenick, coming out of his own zone, steps into the wall that is Ryan Reeves. Ryan Reeves, absolutely, it was a clean open ice hit. He's just a monster of a person, and I think Roenick would rethink this. This is the weird thing about the NHL. Like, nobody wants to touch anybody, and so you think you're going to walk through and Ryan Reeves is not going to crush you, Philip Roenick? No, he crushed him. And you saw immediately, I think the face mask hit Roenick, and I can't show it to you. And he was on the ground like, oh my God. And yeah, that was bad. I mean, rethink that. What are you doing? That's terrible. But he's had a great year, Roenick. But that was a crushing blow from Reeves. Reeves missed an open net shot, by the way. I think there was like an empty net. I don't know how that worked. What's going on? So this is rough all the way around. Gaudreau getting his 7th. I can't remember if this is an empty net goal because honestly, I just stopped watching after the second. It was ugly. I'll have to go back and see. I just yeah, it's 4-1, whatever. You think it was too high? I think it was just a bigger person versus the guy who was skating. I think he was kind of crunched down. He's a bigger man. I don't know. People were complaining about that. We're getting ticky-tacky. That was, I'm a Detroit Red Wings fan, and I didn't like to see it happen. But if you're Philip Roenick, why are you trying to just skate through the middle when you see this truck is coming to you, okay? Ryan Reeves is not quite the size of Dustin Byfuglien. He's a shorter guy, but man, he's got a similar build. He is a big dude, and he just trucked them. It was crazy. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully Roenick is not hurt. I have not seen that he is hurt. I have to assume that he is coming back. 3 games scheduled tonight. That is correct, RJ. Chicago versus the before-mentioned Minnesota Wild. And Minnesota Wild are playing very good hockey. They threw their backup in that game because their prior game Fleury had played. And, Gustafsson played real well. You got to think if you're Ottawa, you're rethinking, why did I let that guy go? Well, Minnesota's doing much better in net. They really had a good handle on their goaltending situation with their moves to get Fleury and keep him, and then to bring in Gustafsson. That's definitely better than what they had with Cam Talbot and what's his name, Kakkonen, that's now in San Jose. St. Louis last night came back, by the way, against Edmonton, and with Jordan Kyrou, they won. That was crazy. I don't know if you guys watched that game. We should touch on that. So not much to report here other than Elmer Soderblom comes back, only plays just under 11 minutes, but gets a goal. And this is good news for them if he can get on the board a little bit. And more importantly, they just got to get healthy. A -3 for Lucas Raymond is not wonderful. -2 for Moritz Seider, not wonderful. We need these young guys to step up, but it might be rough. Dominic Kubalik, -3. Suddenly, he is ice cold, baby. And that's not good news for the Red Wings because he was a big reason they were having so much success early. But you keep taking pieces out, and there's not much left. You got Pius Suter playing a key role. Zarnik's been an okay call-up, but he is what he is. Only played 9:59 that game. Andrew Kopp, 17 minutes, -2. The face-off percentage was low, man, 33%. This guy's terrible in the face-off circle. Didn't we get this guy as like a defensive guy? 62% from Michael Rasmussen brought the team average up, as well as Pius Suter. And Joe Veleno's pretty decent, like 50-50. But Joe Veleno, not really an offensively creative guy, but if you put him with creative guys, usually that can kind of work out a little bit. You can keep up and help them. Oilers got robbed with that goal call back in OT. That's true. So ugly. I think the thing is here, they go to Magnus Helleberg, and they're in the same territory as Nedeljkovic. He only had 22 shots. 21, I think, and then there was probably the empty netter, which was the last goal. 857 save percentage, ain't going to cut it in the NHL. Detroit has a goaltending problem. He can't play Ville Husso every game. Ville Husso's been great, but he can't play 82 games. So you got to think at some point. But the bigger problem, obviously, is the attrition of bodies. Like, luckily, there's depth, and so you look at this line and you go, well, Perron was in. That's good. Kubalik was in. That's good. You had the ability to plug in Soderblom. He's back. Berggren and Rasmussen and Raymond and Kopp, that's in. That's not a horrible lineup. And Pius Suter's competent. You know, I don't know. There's no Larkin, there's no Bertuzzi. I get that. There's no Verana. So those are big losses. You know, they're not zero. That's a lot of goals off the board. And, you know, not having Fabry in the mix is rough. The coach did give an update on Verana, and I kind of missed it. So we'll have to go back and see. I don't think they're expecting him back anytime soon. I think it is just what it is. But, man, that would be really helpful right now if he had his head on straight and he was scoring goals. So now we have a matchup. I keep forgetting to change the name. It's not Tuesday. It's Saturday. I'm so sorry. I keep doing this. Ottawa Senators are suddenly very hot, guys. And you guys know this firsthand. They are on a 3-game winning streak, 7-2-1 their last 10. Detroit on a 2-game losing streak, and before that wasn't pretty. 3-5-2. And the only reason it's a 2-game losing streak, I think, I don't know. Anyways, it's not pretty. This matchup is not good timing for a depleted Red Wings. Will we get Larkin back? I am not sure it matters. Night and day between Husso, Nedeljkovic, and Helleberg Monster. When Husso's in, they have a legit chance, and they're generally above 500. 918 save percentage and 3 shutouts is amazing. That's the best goaltending they have had in 20 years. The last time they had goaltending like this might have been Kubalik or maybe Osgood on the run, the cup run. So, last 5 games, leading scorer, Andrew Kopp at 3 points. There ain't no goals in that time. 2 goals from Perron, but that's what he had last time. So if you look at the last game preview, he had 2 goals in 5 games. I mean, he didn't score last game either. So it's coming up to like 1 goal in 5 games or something. Is Bertuzzi ready to play? Well, he had surgery, so he was out 4 to 6 weeks with an upper body injury. I assume it's a torn shoulder. Or, I think he had the initial injury that started the year, and he came back and he got destroyed on something, and it just was the end of it. So he's not supposed to be back, I think, until January, unless I am missing something. I don't think Tyler Bertuzzi is available, and roughly about the same time. Let's see what the status is. Yeah. And so, this is going to be interesting because both Larkin and Bertuzzi need contracts. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're the best of the worst, maybe, right? I mean, I don't think they're perfect in goal. They're not perfect on defense because they're a very young team. DeBrincat's picking it up, so that's good. 5 assists. You expect more goals from DeBrincat, although he had a lot of assists in Chicago. Probably an underrated playmaker. Like, look at Patrick Kane without him. That was a great 1-2 punch there. He fit in where Panarin used to fit in, so that was really good. Drake Batherson, 3 goals the last 5 games. You are right. They've had weaker competition. But they don't have great goaltending. Forsberg and Talbot, not amazing. You got to think Gustafsson would have been better. Maybe not. I mean, 2-5-1 and 917 is pretty good in a shutout for Cam Talbot. So him coming back from injury has been positive. Forsberg is not a number 1. If he gets 20 games during the year, that's what you really would want. But, this is not good timing. Like, they're on a little streak here. 13 14-2, and 13-10-5. Not much difference there. It's 5 or 6. I can't see that, but so we got to hope that Larkin's back in and that maybe they draw in one of these other guys and that Kubalik gets back on track. But it's a little bit of a dip right now, so it's a little rough. In the standings, luckily, Florida sucks. Florida losing again. Lost to Pittsburgh. Just absolutely, I'm sorry. I think I called this. Barkov having a terrible year. Why? I don't know. No Huberdeau. And Huberdeau not playing great in Calgary. But Tkachuk's playing phenomenal. But man, that defensive style of Paul Maurice is terrible. It's always been terrible. Like, if you're a hockey guy and you watch this, you're just like licking your chops if you're an opposing coach. You're just like, oh, swarm me. Come on. I'll get you guys running around like chickens with your head cut off. No problem. Last night, as you know, the Ducks, the Anaheim Ducks, beat the Montreal Canadiens 5-2. The Ducks? Really? This guy was supposed to be a guy that you would be able to trade. John Klingberg only gets his second of the year. I think he's got 6 points on this season. He gets 2 goals last night. Oh, 10 now. Sorry. He went from 1 goal and like 7 assists to like 3 goals and 10 assists. Thank you, Montreal. Are they going to be able to move this guy? John Klingberg, man. All his warts are exposed. Cole Caulfield, good night. 17th and 18th on the season. He is having a terrific year. Adam Henrique from McTavish. And we should look at the rookie scoring because it's pretty interesting. This is a great rookie class. It's coming of age here. And McTavish, he is right in the mix there. And we know this time last year, he was like, was it last year? I guess so, because they canceled it. He was heading into the World Juniors, but excellent draft pick, 3rd overall. This is working out really good. So that was a rough night for Montreal. Lightning continue to roll. Is this their 4th game that they've won in a row or 5th? 4-1 over the Blue Jackets. You would expect this, but Brian Elliott absolutely playing outstanding. He is on, I think, I don't know, how many wins in a row has this guy had? Is it 7? He's kicking butt. Yeah, the Blue Jackets aren't great, but the Lightning are grabbing points as we would expect them to and moving up in the standings. This was an interesting battle, 2-1. Ottinger versus the hot Charlie Lindgren. If you're Montreal, wouldn't you like this guy back? I know I would. Jeez. Lindgren's really playing great. Not a big goalie. The Minnesota kid, Ryan Lindgren's brother, having a renaissance in Washington, getting an opportunity. They signed him in the offseason. I was like, really? That's your backup? They moved on from Samsonov, who, by the way, is playing terrific in Toronto, if he can stay healthy. And then Vanacek's playing terrific overall in New Jersey. They lost last night, but it was a close one. The Kings last night beating the Boston Bruins? What? Overtime? Went to the shootout, actually. It went overtime and then shootout. Phoenix Copley, who had a terrible prior game, pitching a big one here. 3-2 win. Wow. Against the very legitimately considered Vezina candidate, Linus Ullmark. Well, top 5 are legit. And I think there's a lot of good players in this draft. But we'll have to take a look at that. Let's look at the rookies, and then we can talk about that as well. 4-2 win for the Penguins. As I said, the Panthers, what a mess. Come on. This team should be way better. Tristan Jarry getting on the board. Panthers are kicking butt, moving up in the standings. You know who's not kicking butt? The Seattle Kraken. Luckily, they had an amazing beginning of the year, but they lose 3-2 to the very difficult to play against Hurricanes. Derek Stepan getting another point here. And this guy, Kochetov, we saw him in the 1-0 loss, and they go back to him. Does that mean Ranta and Anderson are hurt? This guy is very good. Very good. Hurricanes got no problem in net. Svechnikov is 16th of the year. Stefan Noensen keeping the flame alive. Another, is he a 92 birth year? High draft pick. he just keeps coming back from the dead, getting his 4th for the Hurricanes. Rangers topping the Maple Leafs. Matt Murray getting the loss. Shesterkin getting the win. This was a big-time game. Michael Bunting, by the way, been getting his points. Michael Bunting now has 22 points in 31 games, so he's right back at it. This was a great signing last year. I can't believe Arizona didn't keep this guy. The Jets beating the Predators, who are just a mess right now. Predators, how many games have the Predators lost in a row? Is it 5? What is their record? If we look at the Predators in the standings, what is their loss streak? It's got to be 5. Oh, they had an overtime loss, but before that, 4-4-2 in their last 10. I could have sworn they lost like 4 before this. They've not been playing great. This is not super. Golden Knights thumping the Blackhawks, as you would expect, 4-1. Elmer Soderblom's brother in net for Chicago. Logan Thompson, the Calder favorite in my opinion, getting another win. The Buffalo Sabres. Tage Thompson, freight train, continues to roll. This guy's the 3rd leading scorer in the NHL. And the guy who was ahead of him, he just surpassed, which is Jason Robertson, who's cooling off a little bit. Tage Thompson not cooling off. This guy is, wow. Alex Tuch scoring again. Dahlin getting his 10th. This is a good news story. Now, the Avalanche are missing a really key piece, and I don't believe in Georgiev. I never have. I don't know who thought this guy was on number 1, but I don't know what choice you had. Maybe you had to go that way because you don't believe in Kumper, and Kumper's not exactly ripping up the world in Washington. So whatever. Avalanche are still 15-11-2, but they are still missing McKinnon. That does not help. Sabres 14-4-2, coming back from the dead and looking very, very dangerous. Can this team leapfrog in the standings? The Blues Oilers, I thought the Oilers had this in hand, but they never have it in hand. What the heck? Did you see the goal by McDavid on the power play? Holy cow. Rocket man from one end through, like, who's stopping this guy? He is so fast. And he shot it. You didn't even see his hands move almost in it. It was just like there was no chance for Bennington on that. However, that was not enough. They go into the overtime, no result. They go into the shootout, and Skinner is beaten by Jordan Binnington 4-3. Oilers get a point, 17-13-1. So they're kind of clawing their way up to a little bit better record. But, man, it is not a foregone conclusion that this team, they got to keep winning, although Calgary is falling off big time. So if you look in the wild card standings in the East, let's take a look. Oh, that's not what I meant to click. What the heck? Stop baiting me here. If you look at the wild card standings, which is what I was trying to click, what happened? New Jersey losing last night. Was it last night or the night before that New Jersey lost? But they lost 2-1. Still firmly in, yeah, they've lost 2 in a row now. But they're still in first. But, man, Carolina ain't stopping. They got 40 points to 44. Pittsburgh, 7 games in a row they have won. Sidney Crosby's on fire. Does he have 17 goals? Malkin's playing great. Letang scored last night, coming back from another stroke. Like, who comes back from a stroke? Yeah. He will miss 6 weeks of action. Wait, he had surgery Friday? I thought he had surgery like 3 weeks ago. That's weird. Colorado outshoots Buffalo 17-1 in the third, and it was Colorado has 5-6 stars out. Are they hurting beyond McKinnon? I mean, McKinnon's a big loss. So I'd have to take a look. I have honestly not paid that much attention to Colorado. I mean, they already won the Stanley Cup. I'm hoping somebody else wins the Stanley Cup. Thanks, RJ, for the schedule update. Appreciate it. New Jersey has lost 4 in a row. Oh, so it's not even just 2 in a row. So they're coming back down to earth a little bit. You didn't really think Vanacek was going to win the Vezina, did you? Maybe. I mean, he was playing like it, but I just didn't, that's kind of like an unprecedented thing. But they're a fast team. They got lots of weapons. So Detroit in 4th. Florida's going nowhere. I believe Buffalo will leapfrog both of these teams, and they might even leapfrog Washington the way they're going. And I don't see New York Islanders are not exactly setting the world on fire, although 5-4-1 is okay. But the way Buffalo's playing, 2 wins in a row. Tage Thompson, a monster. Big win last night for Philadelphia, by the way. Great game by Carter Hart. Did he face 47 shots in that game? Is that the game against New Jersey? So they beat New Jersey 2-1, and Carter Hart faced 49 shots. 49 shots, guys. Never mind. Carter Hart, 980 save percentage. Great game for Carter. They win 2-1. Travis Konechny getting the winner. He's had a very good year. This team is really hurting. Like, they miss Couturier. Hayes is in. He's playing well, but this is just not enough. Like, they are a team that needs all hands on deck. And he's got 26 points in 25 games, but he's a minus 12, so that's not great. The defense on this team is terrible. Poorly constructed. But, Travis Konechny, one-time first overall draft pick, I believe, in the OHL. He's playing very well for that team. That is a Ron Hextall player, just like Joel Farabee. Like, there's a lot of the best parts of this team have Ron Hextall's fingerprints on it. Who's winning right now? Ron Hextall in Pittsburgh. Landeskog, Manson, Josh Manson, McKinnon. McDermott doesn't help. Bo Byram. What's Bo Byram got? Please don't say concussion. Darren Helm's always hurt. His career is injury to injury. Well, I don't know. That was a good game for Carter Hart, so that was positive. 2-1 win over New Jersey. New Jersey sliding a little bit. If you look in the West, Edmonton's in the wild card. Did you think Edmonton would be in the wild card or in the top? Now, there's 35 points. They could, I think they'll catch Seattle. I think Seattle's trick is over. I think it's over. They're going to fall out of contention. I think Colorado, Edmonton will leapfrog them. Calgary and Vancouver. Vancouver played okay the other night, but they're just terrible defense. And Nashville is like a yo-yo team. What is going on in Nashville? Cannot score. Not enough to win. Oh, look at that. Anaheim jugged themselves out of the basement with a win. That's how bad Chicago is. Arizona. What was I going to comment on Arizona? They got a win, I thought. Yeah, that was the other night against San Jose. They got a win. But there's something else about Arizona that was interesting. All right, quickly, before we run out of time, I did want to look quickly at this. So coming up, Ottawa Senators. That'll be a tougher game than it should be. We'll see if we have Dylan Larkin in. As far as stats, McDavid got his 60th point. What a ridiculous goal. But Tage Thompson, 46 points in the year. Great news story for Buffalo. Jason Robertson's kind of fallen back to earth. Sidney Crosby's still up in that mix, and Matthew Tkachuk's up there. Samsonov, he played real well. 1.7, best goals against average in the NHL. I mean, you've got to be really happy if you are. Look at this. Vanacek, 237, and Samsonov, 107. These are young goalies that were picked up by competing teams. Like, what are you doing in Washington? Now, Charlie Lindgren, legitimately hot. Darcy Comfort, not so much. Matt Murray getting the loss last night. But Samsonov the other night played real well for Toronto. Defenseman, don't look now, but Rasmus Dahlin, who is kind of my dark horse pick for Vezina. I don't know if politically he'll get it, but he has got 35 points. I keep asking this, is there a better defenseman in the NHL than Rasmus Dahlin? I do not think so. You can say Cale Makar, but I think he's better than Cale Makar right now, or as good. I mean, if all hands are on deck in Colorado, you got to think Cale Makar is up in there. And Adam Fox obviously getting his points, but I think I would rather have Rasmus Dahlin than Adam Fox. Maybe not Cale Makar. I would rather have Cale Makar. I don't know. That's tough. This is a great news story. He's powering this team again. When he's back on, they're back on. Look at the rookie scoring. This is what I wanted to bring your attention to. Matty Beniers, 23 points in the season. Very, maybe a lot of people expected that, but who is this guy? We keep asking. Matthias Maselli, 20 points for Arizona. That's what it was. I want to say 20 points. Cole Perfetti having a really solid rookie year. But right in this mix, you got Jack Quinn and J.J. Peterka, 2 Buffalo Sabres. So Buffalo is a young, good team. Mason McTavish, 16 points in the year. Kalen Addison for Minnesota. This is interesting. I did not realize on D, he had 15 points. Kent Johnson getting his points for a really, really bad Blue Jackets team. Shane Pinto very heavy on goals here. He's got 10 goals in the year. Zetterlund's played well, but this is a great rookie crop. But you got to put the top of there. Dylan Thompson doing the job for the Las Vegas Golden Knights. 25 or 26 assists on the season and 0 goals for Quinn Hughes. He can't shoot the puck. I mean, I've always said this, Tap, he cannot shoot the puck. He's a great playmaker and he's a great skater. He's terrible defensively, and he can't shoot the puck. This guy is Tyson Barrie. Tyson Barrie can score more than Quinn Hughes. He's just weak. This one blows my mind. RJ Calabro, 5 years, $21 million for Trevor Moore, the local guy from Los Angeles area. Trevor Moore coming over from Toronto Maple Leaf. Big contract for this guy. Is it worth it? I mean, he's a pretty good player, and he's been important to this team. So that is good news for Trevor Moore. Is it good news for the Kings? They seem to think so. Jordan Kyrou lifting the team. Those are all good stories. Kempe played real well, and that was a big surprise that they would beat the Bruins in the shootout. But Moore getting some bucks, man. He's 27, so that brings him to 32 years old. He would get 4.2 mil. He's got 18 points on the year. That's okay. Is that $4 million now? I mean, this puts you on for like what, maybe 20 goals? I guess 20 goals. He had 17 last year. He can play. It's a -4. I don't love that, but the whole team is weird defensively. So, like, is he on pace for, kind of scratching 20 goals? I guess that's $4 million in this day's and age. Those are the types of contracts that get Josh Norrisy having a great year. Morrissey? Yeah, Morrissey. I don't know. Well, boys, I'm going to wrap this up. I will try to join you tonight, Tap. Thank you, Hockey Nation fans, for joining. I know it's a little sparse on Fridays. Thank you, Detroit Red Wings fans, for watching this video. We will catch you on Monday morning at 8-ish, 8:15 in the morning, 8:30 Pacific time, 11:15, 11:30 Eastern time, depending on what happens. Just right around there. We will be online here with a recap of the weekend games for the Detroit Red Wings and around the league. We didn't get to talk, Tap, about the draft, but we can talk about that tonight, maybe. I don't know what's going on. But thank you so much for joining. I look forward to seeing you on Hockey Nation Live tonight.